Broadcasting from the center of the universe and the Thrive15.com world headquarters. Let's go! Presenting the world's only business school without the BS, with optometrist and entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zellner and the former Small Business Administration Entrepreneur of the Year in your ear, Clay Clark. It's the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170. 3, 2, 1, boom!
What is going on, Tulsa? Oklahoma's in green country. Welcome back to the Thrive Time Show. This is the place that you go for that daily audio dojo of mojo, where you can learn how to start and grow a business. If you're looking for a political show, you're looking for a show about politics, this just in, this is not that show. This is that political alternative. And today, as always, I am joined here with the co-host, with the mo-host. It's Dr. Robert Zellner. Dr. Z, how are you, sir?
I am fantastic. Happy Thursday, everybody. We're doing a little throwback today.
Yeah.
We got mailbag questions. I'm so excited. And more than that, we are going to offer you today visual and audio candy.
Visual and audio candy. Now, where can they find the visual candy, Z?
You go to Facebook Live.
And don't look
and
at me.
We've got a beautiful man on here.
Yes.
Who just brought us some meat candy because he is the owner, proprietor, chef, head cook, probably janitor too, I don't know,
Yep.
Joe Davidson of Oklahoma Joe's. Welcome, Joe.
Oh, it's so good to be here with you guys.
You are kind of a living legend. You've literally sold 2 million grills during your life, 2 million smokers during your lifetime. 2 million smokers, sir. Does that ever just does the profundity, the size of that number, ever just blow you away that you've sold 2 million smokers? Does that ever just?
I categorically deny that I'm responsible for global warming. It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Now, today,
nothing to do with
Thrivers, we are talking about a little bit of global warming, but we are talking today about the mailbag questions that you're asking. See, we have hundreds of people every day that will call in, they'll email in, they have questions, they'll email info@thrive15.com. And so today, we're going to be getting into 5 mailbag questions. So question number 1 comes to us from a guy by the name of Colton. He asks a question. He says, I am currently a 19-year-old who is not attending college, considering I find no need to throw myself into an excruciating amount of debt for the rest of my life. This just in. I work in the hospitality industry, currently at low wages, but with plenty of opportunity. I bring in about $1,200 a month, though this may increase soon. Since I'm so young, I haven't yet had the ability to build up any credit, and I'm looking to rent an apartment with my significant other, as well as continuing to advance my career and opportunities in hospitality. I currently hold 2 credit cards. I've been told that keeping a balance on these cards, but continually making payments that are more than the minimum amount and always making said payments early is crucial to building my credit. Any guidance? Z, he wants to know, do we have any guidance to help this man build his credit? I'm going to start with you. I've got some steps, but I want to start with you. What advice would you have for Mr. Colton as it relates to building his credit there?
Well, I mean, I think he's on the right. He's starting off. I mean, I think the fact that he's asking this question is good. I think a lot of people out there, credit management, raising capital, getting the money to start their business, because that's what we're about. We're about the steps of starting and growing a business. That's why it's so fun to have like Joe Davidson on here, who's done those things. What we do is we do a surgical insertion into his brain, and we just pull out the good stuff, and then we share it on the radio so that his success can now mentor you into your success. But with Colton, what you do is you say, keep doing what you're doing. We've got some more steps coming up.
Yeah.
You know what? Credit card debt is not necessarily the best way to build credit, but it is a way to build credit. All right. And obviously, the interest rates are so high. I know a lot of people do that and they go, well, I'll pay that. And then they end up, well, I can skip it. And well, I'll skip it. So you got to be real purposeful in that and just be, really on top of that, because the interest rate is so high. It's not the best way to do it, but I applaud you for at least taking those steps.
Now, I want to ask you here, Joe, because when you were growing your business and you were starting to grow your chain or your line, your product line of smokers, how quickly did you start to sell enough smokers that you realized, hey, if I'm going to scale this business, I'm going to need some kind of credit? Or did you ever involve credit? I mean, did you ever have to get credit or borrow money to grow the smoker manufacturing facility to the next level?
That's a great question, because I didn't even know I should go out and borrow money. I looked at it from the perspective that we needed to be a pay-as-you-go company.
Wow.
And we went literally to our dealers. And my first dealer was Jack Wills Casual Furniture.
Really?
Jack Wills, the senior.
Yeah.
Right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wow.
And I went to Jack and he said, man, you build a great smoker. And he gave me a lot of great life lessons in regard to product quality, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But he also said, I'm going to help you out. So how much is it going to cost you to build these smokers? And I'd say, well, that's going to cost me $50 to build that smoker. He said,
okay.
well, then you're going to sell it to me how much? And I said, well, I'd like to sell it to you for $100, And that way I'd get some money for my labor.
Yeah.
Because I was building myself. He says, well, I'll front you $50 so you can go get all the money to build them. You bring them to me, and then I'll pay you the rest of the money. And literally, my dealers helped finance my company as we grew. And we did that for the first few years, but within the first 5 years, we never borrowed a dime of money.
Now, I followed your path. I never really borrowed money at all while growing my businesses. But Z, I want to ask you, when did you first need credit, or did you have a spot where you needed credit?
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you build a building. I mean, if I had saved to build that building, it would have never probably gotten bought.
You're talking about the building off of Memorial there.
That's one of them. So at some point, there's the extreme. There's the extreme that says, I'm never going to borrow money. I'm never going to get credit.
I'm never going to do it. I cut my credit cards.
I'm going to be fiscally responsible. I'm never going to do it. And then you grow at the pace that you can, which is okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? And Joe, just not to pick a fight on our first segment of the show, but I mean, you did borrow money. Those guys probably gave it to you. Mr. Wills gave you $50. I mean, you didn't realize it, but that was a loan, and he probably didn't charge you interest because you had built up a rapport with him because you had convinced him that you were good ground to sow that seed into. But it really was. It really was. And a lot of people go, I've never borrowed money. You're like, well, didn't your mom give you some money? Didn't your dad give you? Well, I don't
see, I'm
call
going
that
to tell
borrowing.
you.
But just because it's not a financial institution, Clay, does not mean that you didn't have to borrow money.
And I'll say about year 4 with the DJ company, I realized I could sell more weddings. The company was called DJ Connection.
Yeah.
The company was called DJ Connection, and we did entertainment for weddings.
Yeah.
And I found that I could book. I remember one summer I go, at my current pace, I'm going to book 40 weddings every Saturday. 40. So that's the DJ, the sound, the lights going out to the wedding.
Good. Cool.
And I said, I only have 6 systems. And my wife kind of looks at me, and I kind of look at her, and she's like, are you sure that's a good idea? So I went ahead and I raised the deposit required. So when you book a DJ, the DJ is like $600 to come entertain for your wedding.
Okay.
And I raised the deposit from $100 up to about $250.
Yep.
So they would pay the deposit. I had enough money down to start buying equipment. And I started realizing I'm going to run out of runway here. I'm not going to have enough money available to buy all these systems cash. So I did one of those Discover cards, 18 months, no interest.
Oh, yeah.
I had a $20,000 limit, and I bought all the gear that I could possibly buy. And then I paid it back at the end of the summer with the cash that I had earned from those events.
Well,
and that was my first time using a credit line.
And here again, you say, well, I did the same way. I never borrowed money. That's borrowing money.
Yeah.
It's from a financial institution called Discovery.com, whatever that, whoever owns them, it's probably what a big bank owns them, I'm sure. But the thing about it is, it's okay. You have the extreme that person says, oh, I don't want to borrow any money. I just want to do it. I want to let it be just viral and let it grow on its own. And that's okay. But you know what? Banks and financial institutions, they're not evil. And they're out there to help you because, you can scale faster, you can grow faster, you can get where you need to get faster. Because I tell you what, if you got a great idea and you're first into the space, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But if you don't grow it quick enough, someone's going to take that idea from you and outscale you and outbuild you and be able to beat you. Because business is a little bit like war.
A little bit like war, kind of a little bit like war.
I don't want to be mean.
Now I'm going to walk you through the specific steps right now, Colton, and for any of the Thrivers who want to get your credit to the next level. You want to understand how credit works. First off, there's a free tool. If you go to discover.com /free-credit-score. That's discover.com/free-credit.score. You can discover what your credit score is, and it's free, and that's a good starting point to know where you stand. But here are the factors that affect your overall credit ranking. One is your open credit card utilization, meaning that if you have like a credit limit for $10,000, what percentage of the money available are you using? If you're using $9,999 of your $10,000 of available credit, that's going to affect your score in a negative way. Okay. The second is the percent of on-time payments. If you consistently make all your payments late, over time, that will affect your credit negatively. The third is the number of derogatory marks. If you've basically just not paid stuff and they've decided to report you to a credit bureau, that's not a good thing. Point number 4 is the average age of your open credit lines. If all of your credit lines were opened last Thursday, that's not good. It shows that you're sort of in a rush to get a lot of money real fast. Point number 5, the total number of accounts. If you have a credit card at Target and Dillard's and MasterCard and Discover and Amex and every possible credit line you can get your hands on, and then you apply again for another place, it shows maybe you're erratic financially. And the final is the total hard credit inquiries. If you go to a bank and you apply for a loan, they're going to pull your credit. If they pull your credit enough, then it's going to hurt your credit score. So I would say for you, Colton, specifically, I would have a credit card, but I would pay it off every month. That would be my tip to you. I would pay it off every month, because if not, your credit utilization, it will show you're not being necessarily a good steward of your credit, and you're using too much of your credit, of your available credit. And it's better to show that you pay it off, and you pay it off on time each month, and that will help you build your credit. Also, having a cell phone, that's actually a loan. And when you have a cell phone, people don't realize that when you have a cell phone, you actually have a loan with the credit card, with the cell phone company, and you're basically leasing that, or you're making payments on that phone you got. That the phone you got for free, you're making payments month after month on that phone.
Month after month, because you signed a contract and you're on the hook for that amount of money. You may not realize it, but you have maybe a 2-year commitment or a 1-year commitment, whatever that commitment is.
Now, when we come back, Thrivers, we have mailbag question number 2, and this is going to be for Joe Davidson. We're going to really ask him a tough question here from a Thriver. He wants to know about, how did you build your schedule when you were first starting your business? So back before you had sold 2 million smokers, how did you build your schedule? You're listening to the Thrive Time Show during your midday here on Talk Radio 1170. Stay tuned.
This show is brought to you by Adobe Creative Cloud. If you're a photographer, graphic designer, video editor, podcaster, business owner, or just creative genius, this is for you. All of your creative tools, all in one place. Creative Cloud includes the entire collection of creative apps for desktop, from favorites like Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator to new tools like Adobe Experience Design. Check this out. You can create podcasts seamlessly in high quality with Adobe Audition. Did you miss the exposure or looking to create a stunning and beautiful photo? You gotta download Lightroom. Okay. The latest release of Adobe Creative Cloud is here with incredible new features in Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and all of your favorite apps, plus millions of Adobe stock assets, and new premium images are built right in. So you can turn your brightest ideas into your best work fast. Make sure that you check out Adobe Creative Cloud. It's at adobe.com. Once again, Adobe Creative Cloud at adobe.com.
Live, local, now. You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Inspiration Station. This is your audio dojo of mojo, and the place that you go to learn how to start or grow a business. Faux show. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year in your ear. I'm also the father of 5 human kids. I raise a lot of chickens, and I'm joined here with the co-host with the most, Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, how are you?
Hello, Thrive Nation out there. Welcome to the show. We were a little sneaky. We were 5 to 7 every day drive time, and now we're 12 to 2.
And Z, you know what a great thing to do is during 12 to 2?
Eat chicken salad sandwiches?
No, it is to go to Oklahoma Joe's.
And well, you know what my favorite thing there to eat is? Take a guess. Take a guess. Come on.
Baked beans?
Oh, that's one. Oh, yes, that's one. The other one is
burnt ends.
I'm telling you what, folks. If you're just now getting in your car and you're thinking, I'm hungry, It's Thursday, what do I want to do? And I'm telling you what, drive direct. If you're in Broken Arrow, go by the Bass Pro Shop.
Yep.
Oklahoma Joe's right there. Go in, clean, beautiful store, get in line, and do this move. Burnt ends and baked beans. And you know what? You'll thank me later. You're welcome. I'll just you're welcome. And if you're in South Tulsa or in Tulsa at all, you go to 61st and Sheridan. And right there, you can find the Oklahoma Joe's and just slide in there. Tell them that the Thrive Time show sent you.
Yes.
And
I don't know
they'll
gift.
give it to you free.
I have a special gift for anybody who does that today.
What is that?
If you go to Oklahoma Joe's today,
okay,
and you go in there, you take the challenge. I call this the baked beans challenge.
Okay.
If you go in there and those are not the best baked beans you've ever had in your life, then you just drive up here to the Thrive15.com world headquarters. We're off the left coast of the Jinx River.
Yep.
You come up here, or off the Arkansas River. You come here. It's in beautiful Jinx, America. I'm going to give you a copy of my newest book called Thrive. I'm going to give you a copy of that book, okay? I'll give you a copy of my book. You take the challenge. If it's not the best baked beans you've ever had, you get a copy of my book. Now, if they are in fact the world's best beans, this is an offer that works great. Both. Now you come here, I give you a high five, and I give you a book. This is an offer. This is a one-time offer just for today. You get in your card today. I'll give you a high five, and I give you a book if you just take the challenge. Are they the world's best baked beans?
Lunchtime, Thrive time, Oklahoma Joe time, and we have, matter of fact, the guy that we have Joe.
He's here.
We got the dude.
Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing great. That's a great offer.
It's a big offer. We've not run it through corporate, so this is an offer we just came up with.
Wait. We are the corporate. We're in charge.
You are the man. All right, so here's the deal. We are talking today. We have mailbag questions. Today's a mailbag edition of the Thrive Time Show. We have a mailbag question number 2. This comes in from a sensational thriver by the name of Sarah. And this question goes to you, Mr. Joe. She says, how did you schedule your day when you first started your business, and how did you fund it?
I'm going to tell you, I scheduled my day by how many hours could I stay up and work. I started as early as I could. Typically, now I had kids, so I had to get them off to school and help get them around, and do that. And that's what you do when you've got your own business. And my wife was a teacher.
Really?
So she taught school. She was an elementary school teacher. So I'd help get them off to the babysitter when they were real young, and then I'd go to work. But I would work literally until 2 in the morning. So my schedule...
2 in the morning?
2 in the morning.
Wow.
So there were not set hours. I don't think that's something that when you're really wanting to grow your business and do the right thing, that you literally have the luxury of saying my hours are from 8 to 5.
Now, Z,
as long as you need to work.
Z, for anybody who's listening out there who says, I thought Bernie Sanders had said you cannot work more than 35 hours a week, 36 actually. Z, what advice would you have for the entrepreneurs who are listening to the show who want to make sure they never work more than 36 hours to keep Mr. Bernie Sanders happy?
Well, you know what? We're changing paradigm right now because unfortunately out there in these stats, you can Google it and see this is a thing. 8 out of 10 businesses don't make it. They fail. And one of the I like that noise. One of the reasons why they fail is because the people get started in them. And I've seen this time and time again. People are like, hey, Dr. Z, would you, can I do lunch? I want to mentor you, and you're back, you're like, okay, I can fit you in, yes. And then they're sitting there talking to you, and all they can talk about is starting this business and then how quick they get their time off. How quick they can get other people hired to do it. How quick they can just,
this idea. Here's the deal.
Time.
It's going to be a burger truck. And what I'm going to do is once I sell enough burgers, I'll be on the beach sipping on Mai Tais and hanging out with the ladies. I just need you to fund my truck. It's the world's best burgers, I'm going to call it. And they're going to, I'm going to sell them, and I'm going to be on the beach having Mai Tais. I just need your money. That's all I need is money, no education, no tips, no management skill, no sales training, no search engine, no diligence. I just need your money, and I'll be on the beach. No discipline.
No discipline. No, and everybody's going to want to make your burgers for you right off the bat, and you're going to be able to pay them because
people know me.
Yes, but the thing about Joe just said when a magical, he unpacked something magical there, and that is that if you want your business to be successful, it's up to you to get in there and do the work.
Oh,
what?
That sounds so mean. It's so aggressive. It's so aggressive.
I never really thought of that.
So if someone's listening right now, though, Joe, and I want you to be able to speak into their lives because you are the founder of Oklahoma Joe's. You've sold 2 million smokers. You have a great chain of restaurants. You've had a lot of success. But somebody's listening right now, and they're in particular Sarah, and she's going, okay, well, how did you fund it? How did you fund it? I mean, did you have a bunch of money? Did you have a rich uncle? How did you specifically fund your business?
You know, I'm from Okemo, Oklahoma. Grew up on a ranch down there. I was a state farmer in the FFA. I really loved ranching. I loved farming. But I got my degree in education. And then as I was going along, I thought, you know, I've paid my way through college as a welder.
Really?
And my grandmother and my grandpa gave me $2,000 worth of U.S. savings bonds.
Oh, God bless them.
$100 increments.
That's awesome.
And I took those in 1987, and I cashed them in. I built 12 cookers, took those to the State Fair of Oklahoma, and when the fair was over, I not only sold those 12 cookers, but had orders for 108 more. And that's how I funded and started my business.
And if you're listening to this right now, I'm going to give you the magical 3 ways to start and fund your business. I'm going to give you the 3 ways. There's a lot of ways to do it, and at thrive15.com, we literally teach you the specifics on dozens of ways to start and fund your business. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the 3 ways that I hear more often than not.
And they're magical.
They're magical because they work over and over and over.
Wow.
One is this thing called saving.
Stop it.
Yeah, I mean, so you have like another job, you have 2 jobs, and you're working and you're saving, you're spending less than you're earning. Well, I know that's so offensive, but you're spending less than you're earning? You have 2 jobs, okay?
Yep.
That's move number 1. Move number 2 is family and friends who see that you've put some sweat equity in. They see you've contributed your own money, you've put in your own time and money, and they believe in the effort and the diligence that you've put in because you've been saving, you have some skin in the game, and family and friends are willing to get behind you, Z.
Yeah, but what happens if I'm a guy and I did that and I failed? And then I say I wasted their money, but yet I have this other great passion, this other great idea, this other great business I want to do. How on earth do I go back to them?
Yeah, and I'm telling you this, Henry Ford lost all of his money 5 times. He lost it all 5 times. Walt Disney lost it twice. But I'm telling you what, you have to be committed to success. You have to be committed, and you just got to go back to those people and say, hey, I'm sorry I lost the money. I'm going to do my best.
Sam Walton did it.
Sam Walton had to go to his father-in-law and go, hey, we're not doing so well. Can I borrow a little bit more to fund this crazy Walmart idea? Now, move number 3, Thrivers, is called delayed gratification. Maybe you have to put off starting the business for a while until, the timing is right later. Delayed gratification, that's a thing. So, Thrivers, when we come back, we're going to be getting into mailbag question number 3 here with the founder of Oklahoma Joe's Barbecue. We're getting into the mailbag question number 3. You do not want to miss out on this question.
Are you a business owner? You need to ask yourself right now, how are you backing up your files and important documents? Most businesses have no system for the files in their business. If this is you, you got to use Dropbox. At least sign up for one of their 30-day free trials. Real talk, it's the secure file sharing and storage solution that employees and IT administrators trust. You get as much space as needed at no additional cost. You get unlimited file recovery and versioning, basically creating new versions, and valuable admin controls for secure sharing and collaboration with Dropbox for Business. You got to check this out. After using Dropbox, you'll definitely feel more secure knowing that a virus or power surge can't ruin your computer and your entire business. Try full access to Dropbox Business for 30 days. Head over to Dropbox.com to get started. Again, Dropbox.com to get started.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show during your afternoon. And for many people who are just discovering this show for the first time, you're kind of going cognitively, you're saying, what is this? What's going on? Is this a political show? I haven't heard any references to building walls.
I thought this was a home and garden show.
There's no recounting of votes.
There's
no home and gardening roof references. What is this show? This show must be something different. It must be about business without the BS. And Z, it is Tulsa's only local business radio show. It's the Thrive Time Show. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year, and I'm joined here with the co-host with the most, Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, how are you?
I am fantastic. I'm an entrepreneur trapped in an optometrist optometrist body. An optometrist is an eye doctor, not really a doctor, but sort of almost a almost a doctor. And people all the time say to me, they go, "You're an optometrist. Why do you have an auto auction?" Or "You're an optometrist. Why do you fill in the blank?" And I'm kind of like, you don't have to paint people into corners. Hey, if you're whatever, you can do whatever, okay? And we're here to encourage you to follow that passion and turn it into profit, to scale it, and to make some moolah, just like the success story of the man one left of me. If you're looking on Facebook Live,
it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. We have Joe Davidson, the founder and head chef of Oklahoma Joe's Barbecue.
Man, it's so good to be here with you guys. It's talk about handsome.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
Oh, no,
I'm talking about.
Clay, you know what the best part of having Joe on the show?
Well, other than his aesthetic beauty and the flavor of the food, I don't know.
Well, we're here at lunchtime, and I got to be honest. Last time we had Joe on, I kind of fussed a little bit because he didn't bring us, the goodies.
Crying a little bit.
I was crying just a little bit.
He sent an anonymous hate email. Some of the people on the Thrive Times show are frustrated with the lack of food.
One of the hosts, I'm not going to name which one, is very upset because. So today he brought in a little sack of little treasures, little goodies, and one of our production guys, I think, when he ate the what was
burnt
the dessert?
ends?
No, not the burnt ends.
Bread pudding.
I think Marshall passed out.
Yeah.
I think he literally passed. It was so good. For
people who are watching on Facebook Live, we're actually broadcasting here live from the box that rocks, so you can kind of see some members of our team who are out working on some things. Mel, did you like the barbecue? Mel liked this just in. Mel loves the barbecue. Now,
it's fabulous.
We're going to get into the next question. This is question number 3. This comes from a Thriver, and this is what they said. This is from Amy Johnson. She says, how do you stay focused on getting the day-to-day tasks done in your business with all of the ridiculous people and drama that happens every day? Z, I'm going to start with you. How do you do it?
Well, two ways. I'm going to give you 2 little nuggets. You want 2 little magical nuggets?
Yes.
That's the theme,
2 magical nuggets.
There's a word you have to get in your repertoire.
Here we go.
You have to get into your dictionary, your vocabulary, and that is no.
What?
Yeah, you got to learn to say no. And this other thing's going to sound really mean, and we're going to unpack this a little bit, but the second one, which is going to sound mean, and don't
off to a bad start.
Just give me a chance to explain what I'm going to say, okay? You've got to limit the number of people that have access to you. I know that sounds, I know. You're sitting there, you're at Oklahoma Joe's, and you got the burnt ends and the baked beans. You're welcome, by the way. And you're sitting there eating, you got your soda product, and you're going, that just seems mean.
I want to pile on real quick because I have a notable quotable from Lee Cockrell. This is the guy who, by the way, used to manage 40,000 people.
Yep.
He says, one way to get your priorities accomplished is to schedule them in your calendar. So see, if you're scheduled to be somewhere, that's going to require you to say no. And Z, I have a story I want to share about this.
Is this story time?
Do you know that my last speaking event is this weekend?
Wait a second. Give me a story.
Story time.
All right.
I want a story time.
Here's the deal. I started a company called DJ Connection. And if you're a DJ, you're basically like one level above the carnival guy. So if you're the carnival guy, you're running the Himalaya, or you're taunting people to throw baseballs at you for a chance to dunk you in the dunk tank, then you power up, whoop, 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 and you power up. Now you're a disc jockey.
Oof,
so I was a
impressive.
disc jockey, built the company, DJConnection.com, to the point where we did 4,000 events the last year that I owned that business.
That's awesome.
So I'm growing the business. And so the next level, you sell the business, and people start to say, could you come entertain? And I said, sure. What's the name of your company? They go, oh, Southwest Airlines. Oh, UPS. Oh, Maytag. Oh, and then pretty soon they go, could you also do maybe a motivational talk? Because motivational speaking is one level above DJ.
Oh, yeah.
And now you move up. So carnival to DJ to motivational speaker. The next level is politician, by the way. Boop, boop, boop. I'm not there yet. But anyway, so the thing is, so I start saying yes, and I'm not exaggerating. My wife looks at me. I had 18 paid speaking events on 1 month, and my average was 15 a month that I had back before we started Thrive. I was doing like 15 speaking events a month in a plane, an aluminum tube, sitting next to some guy named Craig or Trevor or somebody who wants to tell you their life story, and they're bigger than the seat, and you're stuck in the middle somewhere, and it's a weird deal. And I decided I have to change that. So I have one more speaking event that I'm committed to. It's for the Food and Drug Administration. It's in Las Vegas. It's my final event, and then I'm dropping the mic. Boom.
Bam.
And you know what? I had to say no. And Z, it was so hard to say no. And could you speculate as to why it was so hard for me to say no, Z?
Because deep down inside, almost every single one of us wants to be liked and loved by everybody around us. We want to be the guy that brings the great barbecue to the Christmas party and everybody says, oh, we love you. And so you think, you want affirmation, you want people to like you, and you don't want to upset people. I mean, we don't wake up in the morning going, well, I sure hope I get to upset some people today. I mean, I'm just looking forward to the first person I can tick off. I hope that's before lunch because that always makes my barbecue taste
Now, Z,
better.
when we come back, we're gonna be asking Joe. We're gonna get into a very deep story here, okay?
Ooh.
But they sold 2 million smokers, and we're gonna ask him about how he dealt with fan mail, emails, phone calls, how you were able to limit the number of people who had access to you. I mean, I can't even imagine what it'd be like to sell 2 million of something. And we're going to get into the specifics of how he was able to set priorities and get stuff done with that much commerce going on around you. I mean, it had to be exciting, but it also had to be a little bit draining. And we're going to have Joe Davidson, the founder of Oklahoma Joe's, teach us his secrets coming up next.
For the professional-looking man out there, this is for you. Are you tired of waiting for hours in disorganized barbershops around town? Are you maybe looking for an upscale haircut experience instead of being treated like a little kid? If either of these thoughts crossed your mind, then Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge is for you. The Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge is proud to offer a variety of packages and memberships for discerning men and regular customers who wish to maintain their tailored look while receiving discounts off of services and products. They're going to bring you in, they'll offer you a beverage, identify your style that you're going for, get you a tailored haircut from one of the professional stylists, wash your hair, and then style it afterwards so you could even go back to work. The experience is awesome. They even do cool things for members like a free nape shave on Mondays or a peppermint oil scalp massage on Tuesday. Check out one of the locations near you and book an appointment. You can check them out at eitrlounge.com or just dial 918-877-2219. Seriously, you're going to love it. 918-877-2219 or visit eitrlounge.com to book an appointment today.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show during your afternoon. Many of you right now are contemplating, you're saying to yourself, what is this show and what am I going to eat for lunch? Z, can you help them out?
Well, this show is the #1 business talk show in Northeast Oklahoma. We call that Green Country.
Yeah.
And of course, people are listening to it around the world because on the thrivetimeshow.com, we have archived every one of our shows. So you could binge watch all night long.
I talked to a Canadian the other day, a true story. I talked to a Canadian who told us he found the show because a friend of his went to thrivetimeshow.com, shared the link with him, and he said he's been basically binge listening, and he said he was through about 12 of them, and he goes, this is like the specific stuff that no one talks about. And I said, hey, we pride ourselves on providing business school without the BS. And for those of you who are tuning in today, this is a mailbag edition. So people like you are emailing into info@thrive15.com. You can ask the gurus anything. You can ask us anything. And the question was asked by Miss Amy. She says, how do you stay focused on getting the day-to-day tasks done in your business with all of the ridiculous people drama that happens every day? And one of the tips that Z said was you have to learn to say no to things, and you also have to be able to limit the number of people that have access to you. So Joe Davidson, the founder of Oklahoma Joe's Barbecues here, and he actually sold 2 million smokers at the peak of that business. Joe, I want to ask you, how did you limit the number of people that had access to you, and how did you start to say no to things, my friend?
In the early years, I said no to no one.
Really?
I mean, I literally talked to anyone that was willing to listen to me. I mean, we were a young business. So, but as time went by, we started to understand these are the common questions that everyone has about our smokers.
Hey man, can I grill steak with this, or put chicken on it, or
how long does it burn? How
long does it burn?
That's exactly it.
Okay.
All those great questions, So we stepped back and said, how can we get to all these people and give them the right answers and literally get to be a friend of theirs?
holograms, using the internet and the hologram
You
system?
know, in these days, they were called VHS tapes.
Oh, really?
We gave a VHS tape with every smoker that we sold.
You did?
Every one of them.
Was that you on the video?
Me on the video.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And I wanted to make certain that they knew how to put it together, how to use it, and then how to be a great chef in their own backyard and a hero.
Was your style kind of like Bob Vila? Were you kind of the over-the-top like Billy Mays? What was your style of delivery on those VHS tapes?
I don't think it was. I was more laid. I'm an Okie, and from heart. I was born in Okemo, Oklahoma, so I really laid it back. We were easy going, and I think that's another thing people really liked is that, if you're from Maine or New York or California, you don't get to hear people that talk like me very often.
So you scaled the common questions over and over by making a VHS tape. And if you're listening right now, Thrivers, and you're going, man, I just am running out of time, think about what is your biggest limiting membrane, as Z calls it. What is your biggest limiting factor? What is the thing that the question you keep answering over and over, or the things that are limiting your ability to focus on other things because you keep getting into the same question loop. You keep getting into the same question, the same situation. Z, talk to me about how you have been able to limit. What do you practically do right now to limit people who have access to you? What are your rules? How do you do it?
Well, here's my rule: is that you have a hierarchy of command in each of your businesses.
Okay.
And so if someone, say an hourly person, catches me in a hallway and says, "Hey man, I got a problem. I got a question. I got something I got to talk to you about." I go, "Okay, great. It's about the business. Yeah. Well, my door's always open. I'm always accessible. But have you talked to your supervisor about it?" No. I said, "Well, that's where you need to start, buddy." And then I walk on.
See, I got this rash, and I don't know what it is, but let me show it to you.
There's a 24/7, thing around the corner there. But you do so. So I have the top people. Each one of my businesses have full access to me 24/7. 24/7 if they need it. And then they have people that they have that have full access to them, and so on down the line. So then that way, there's only no more. Oh no!
Wait a second. There's a pirate though. There's a pirate. There's somebody who's listening right now. They're kind of they're a pirate of knowledge, and they want to pick your brain. And so they work at one of your businesses, and they go, "Hey Z, I want to know what are the 3 steps? Just 3. I just got a quick question, Z. I just need to grab you for a quick minute. Just a minute. What do you say?"
I say, "Hey, you know what? That's a great idea. And once you can schedule some time with my assistant, my personal assistant, or you can email me that, then, it's kind of like that's how you give people access to you. You say, "Oh, okay, here's 30 minutes of my day that I'll do nothing other than sit there and listen to you ramble about
here we
your
go.
coffee shop idea." And I'm not going to do it.
There's a time pirate, number 2. The meeting is clearly over. Everything has been established. Whatever needs to be talked about has been talked about. But the time pirate, he says, I've got one more thing to say. How do you tell him no?
Well, you just say, "Take that parrot off your shoulder and get the heck out of here." The meeting's over. You know what? Oh gosh, how do you say this and don't sound like that dude that's rude? But it's your time, it's your day. You get to decide what you do with it. And if somebody else is trying to pirate your time and pirate your day, and you know what, when you lay in bed and you put your little head on the pillow and you pull the covers up to you and you say to yourself, if you're not out of sleep, "I didn't get anything done today." And then you think back at all the pirates with the parrots and the patch and the
time pirate number 3 here. Time pirate number 3. I got 2 more for you. One is the full page email or the long social media post. On social media, I'm upset about something on social media. I write you a long post. I tag you in it. And then what I do is I send it to my whatever business it is, whatever manager. I send it to him and say, "Handle this," and go on. So every now and then they'll come back to me and say, "Okay, this is what happened, and you need to do XYZ," and I'll do XYZ because nobody cares as much about my businesses as I do. And same thing about Oklahoma Joe's. I love their burn ends and baked beans. Oh, you do?
I do.
It's not healthy.
And I love eating Joe Davidson's barbecue. But I promise you this: he cares more about Oklahoma Joe's than I do. I'll just tell you that right now.
I got a question for Oklahoma Joe.
Oh,
Final
gosh. Oh, no.
time pirate waster, pirate thief. question here for you. So you're at the office. You're trying to get things done, and you keep having interruptions. Somebody just keeps going, open the door. Excuse me. How do you stop the interruptions, Oklahoma Joe? Arr.
Number one thing that I do is that I don't keep an office in my stores.
Really?
I don't keep an office in my stores.
Come on now.
I keep a separate corporate office. Now, the greatest pirate of my time, from time to time, is that I'll go out and I love to walk the floors. Walking the floor.
Walking
And
the
I think that
floors,
it's
my big
important
leg.
to do that. I love to visit. I understand what my customers want, what they need, what they think. But occasionally I'll have one that has a lot of extra time. And they want to talk. And they want to talk about a smoker they bought about 40 years ago.
Oklahoma Joe.
Like that. And I love to do that. But occasionally I have to have one of my assistants is going to always come back and say, Joe,
there's an emergency.
You've got an appointment in 10 minutes. Can you come to that? And so I have to get them to pull me back occasionally. So it's always good to have that assistant that helps be your pirate patrol as well.
You saw the movie Casino? Yeah. I love that part when he's in there and he's going to have the meeting with the congressman or the local politician, and he tells his assistant, he goes, after he walks in the door, page me in 3 minutes. It's like he's purposeful. He knows. It's kind of like my sister. She lives up in New York. She's one of 7. There's 6 boys, 1 girl. She back in the day when she started dating a dude, she already knew that she was going to break up with him. I mean, she was purposeful in her time management, So
I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're listening to this right now, Thrivers, as an actionable item for you, I want you to go ahead. I call this the 24-hour audit. And I do this with business coaching clients all the time. I say, look at your last day and write down where you spent all your time. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And once they do it, I say, go ahead and look at this week and think about what you did this week. And the secret, and this is I'm paraphrasing a John Maxwell quote, but John Maxwell, the best-selling author of 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, he says that your success or failure is found in your daily calendar.
Yeah.
And so you've got to look at that and ask yourself, where did my time go? Because even though Dr. Z has had huge success in business and Oklahoma Joe has had huge success in business, you guys did it by focusing on the things that matter. Because you could have spent all your time, Dr. Z, going out there we office at the Riverwalk here in Jinx.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You could have spent all your time going out there pulling weeds. You could be out there fishing on the river. You could have done that. Joe, you could have been out there.
Some sand.
Yeah, Joe, you could have been out there doing every weld yourself, but at a certain point, you had to focus on scaling the business. Now, Thrivers, when we come back, we're going to be talking about mailbag question number 4. Now, this question is something that a lot of people want to know, and Z, it's kind of a humbling question. We've had a couple Thrivers ask this question, and they're kind of wanting to know. I don't want to give away the question, but it's a question.
Well, hold on a second. I want to go back to the floor. Can you imagine how many times Joe's walking his floor, and some older couple says, "Oh my gosh, that's the guy on the VHS tape."
I remember when I was watching it myself.
Remember that tape you watched over and over? My wife watched it a kind of an absurd amount of times.
I watched that thing 37 times on a Tuesday.
Because he's eye candy. It just he makes meat candy, and they just watched that, wore that VHS tape out. So they stopped him on the floor. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you're that guy."
I watched that movie several times, Joe. I watched. The plot was amazing. When you're making the beans, I didn't know. Could he do it? Is he going to be able to make the beans?
Let's get it timed, the countdown.
All right. I'll try this. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking about mailbag question number 4 when we get back.
Okay, managing your money has not been easier. Mint.com is the solution to ambiguous and blind money management. You can effortlessly create budgets that are easy to stick to, or even use one that they make for you. Design budgets that are appropriate for now and put you in position to succeed in the future. Get notifications for weird account charges and receive personalized tips for eliminating fees and saving more money. Check your credit with a free credit score and explore what you can do to improve it to be able to purchase the things that you really want later. Link up the app on your phone, and money management on the go has never been easier. You can even link up your portfolio accounts so you can see your bank accounts and stock values side by side. Mint.com, you got to go check it out, and you can sign up for free. Again, that's mint.com, mint.com. Go sign up right now. It's definitely a game changer for money management.
the center of the universe, featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zellner and U.S. SBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark. This is the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Not only are we broadcasting from the center of the universe, we are broadcasting from the left coast of the Arkansas River within the beautiful Thrive15.com world headquarters in beautiful Jinx, America. And within that particular building, we are inside the box that rocks. And I am talking on the magical microphone. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. I'm glad to be here with you today. And as always, I'm joined with the co-host, with the mo-host. This guy, let me just walk you through his travel itinerary here. He's been to Guatemala, and he's been to Minnesota. He's been to Vegas, all in the past week. How does he do it? And he's still here with us. It's Dr. Robert Zellner.
It's called airplanes, airlines. It's the aluminum tube that takes you there, because that'd be a lot of walking. I couldn't have done it if I had to walk.
Your life wouldn't have been possible, though, 70 years ago.
Yeah, well, true. Yes,
it's amazing.
This is math. That's just math. But it's Throwback Thursday. It's the second half of our show.
Old school,
and
baby.
Listen. If you drew the short straw and you had the late lunch today, it's not too late to get in your car or walk or ride your bicycle or however mode of transportation you like to do.
Yeah.
Maybe a helicopter. I don't know.
Should you have been a former mall cop and you own a Segway?
Oh, that's the best.
Do one of those if you can figure out how to do it with safely.
And you're sitting there thinking, what do I do for lunch? I'm in the late lunch. I'm listening to the Thrive Time show. I tell you, we got the play. We got the move. If you're in Broken Arrow, you go over by the Bass Pro Shop, a little place called Oklahoma Joe's Barbecue.
It'll blow your mind.
If you're in Tulsa over at 61st and Sheridan, Oklahoma Joe's, and you walk in there, you get in the line, you look up at the board, but you don't even look at the board. Don't even. I'm going to give you the move. You go in, you say, I want the burn ends, I want some baked beans, and if you're a little bit of a sweet tooth, you ask for the bread pudding.
You know, one problem Joe's had over the years, and Joe, I don't know if you can confirm this or you want to deny this. So Joe, how you doing, by the way?
I'm great. It's so good to be here with you guys.
You know how some people, they go on a religious trip? They go, I'm going to go to Israel, and I'm going to see the birthplace of my religion, and I'm going to go to, these different places. People have started to plan vacations around going there to your business to try the world's best baked beans. It's become kind of a problem because what time do you close?
We close every night at 9 o'clock.
And it's like 9:15, it's 9:20, it's 9:30. There's a line of people just starting to camp out there, and you're going, bro, I know you traveled here from Wisconsin for these baked beans, but you have to go. You have to go home. Okay, we love you. We love the cheeseheads, but you got to go home. Joe, have you ever had to just shut it down? You say, listen, I love you guys. We've got to shut the door. You can come back tomorrow for some more.
Come back at 11 a.m. We start again then.
So listen, if you're listening right now, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com and you hear the podcasts, so many people, thousands of people go to thrivetimeshow.com. They listen to the podcast and they share it with friends. And I'm going to tell you what. If you travel here from another state, can we give them a tour, Joe? Is that something we could do?
I'll give you a personal kitchen tour.
Ooh, personal kitchen tour. Woo! If you come here to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
And today, Z, we're doing the challenge. We're calling this the Baked Beans Challenge.
Just throw it down. Just throw that down.
You go to the two locations. You go over there, and you go ahead and try some baked beans. And if they are, in fact, the world's best, then you come here to the Thrive15.com world headquarters in beautiful Jinx, America. At the Riverwalk, I give you a high five and a copy of my newest book, Thrive.
That's fair. Now, here's the other thing, too. He has another store here. It's at the Canes. What is it? What are its hours and when's it open?
Canes Ballroom. It's a Tulsa icon.
It's
famous.
Very famous.
And its hours are Monday through Friday, 11 till 2, but then on concert nights. Selling great barbecue on concert nights, too.
So if you're downtown, you can grab some lunch down there. So you're working in the tower. You're in the thing.
Yeah.
You're doing the thing about
you're
the thing.
You're walking in the Tower of Power.
The tower. You can go down there to the Canes ballrooms and get some Oklahoma Joe's.
You got to get in there, pump yourself up. Now, Thrivers, we are talking about mailbag question number 4. This is a question from Lorenzo, and he asks this question. He says, basically, this is a question. He says, what makes Clay so successful? I mean, when you guys aren't on the air, what does he do on a daily basis that allows him to get so much done? Seems like he's everywhere. Z, what would be, I can't speak about myself, but for this guy Lorenzo who's going, okay, when he's not on the air, when he's not pontificating or being ridiculous, what is it like? You can explain the Clay Clark experience, good or bad.
Well, I'll tell you one thing he's not doing, Lorenzo, and that's sleeping. He's done. He's not a big sleeper upper.
Yeah.
Sleep in late. You don't catch him in his PJs. I mean, the guy is up early. He's working hard all day long. He's purposeful. And you know why he's purposeful, Lorenzo? Because he has his calendar. And that calendar allows him to stay on schedule. That calendar allows him to get stuff done. That calendar allows him to say no. He's kind of robotic. We have a charging station, but it's a mobile one. So as he's going, because he's got a lot of bionic kind of robotic parts to him, so he just charging. So, but he's purposeful in his day. He gets a plan. He gets a plan of what he's going to do. He knows what he's going to do. He's got his calendar. He's got his plan. Who sets that? He does. He sets that. So if someone says, "Hey man, can you come at 2:30, man?" I sure could. Can I swing by there and visit with you? No, I'm in a meeting from 2 to 3. Can't. No. By click. Boop. Well, that was kind of mean. That was kind of mean. I mean, I thought you were a business coach. Aren't you here to help coach me up? Aren't you here to dude? I'm hurting. I'm hurting here. I need help.
I will say this. One thing that I struggled with, and Joe, you talked about it earlier, and I want to get your feedback on this. I struggled with. I was so flattered and so excited and so joyful, and almost moved to tears the first time I went to Office Depot and ran into a guy whose wedding I DJ'd.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
So I used to have to practically beg people to book me for their weddings when I was a wedding entertainer. And the first guy, this is years after the wedding, like 2 years after the wedding, he's like, "You're the DJ. You're
the dude.
You're the dude." Guy. And then I was like, yes. Well, my wife, I'm out there with my wife, and back when you're a business owner, you're always trying to find little ways to kind of sneak away time with the wife, So my wife and I go on hot dates at Office Depot. If things went well, we'd usually buy CDs in bulk, bring in those rebates, we'd get some stuff on sale, and then we would just make out in that parking lot. That was kind of the things went well.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing was, this guy wants to talk. And I'm there for probably 45 minutes talking about the wedding and what happened. It was only probably a 4-hour performance, and we're talking for 45 minutes reminiscent about this wedding. And but eventually I realized, gosh, because I did so many weddings and so many parties, I eventually had to cut it off. And you almost feel kind of mean, Joe. So for anyone listening right now who's built a local business, or maybe they're building one and customers are coming in, they really want to talk to them and marinate. We're not talking about just conversing. I'm talking about marinating, where you just slow cook that conversation. What advice would you have, my friend?
No, number one, I love talking to customers. I absolutely love it. That's how we get to know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. But it's kind of like personal space. Time space. Right? And the way I look at that is that my wife is the same way. We work together.
Yeah.
My kids work with me as well.
Yep.
So I always will say my wife is my greatest partner because she can sense when I kind of get fidgety with visiting someone. After a while, and it may be 10 minutes, it's an appropriate amount of time to spend with someone where they really get to know you. But there's a time that you have to go on to complete your events of the day to be productive. So having an assistant, having a wife, having someone that's there to come up to your shoulder and say, "Hey, you're going to be late for your next appointment." It's so important.
I'm going to read you a notable quotable. This comes from Ryan Tedder, a local Tulsa musician who went to Oral Roberts University, and now he writes songs for Beyonce and Adele and One Republic. He says this. He says, "When you're around enormously successful people, you realize their success isn't an accident. It's about work." Z, what advice would you have for somebody right now who's listening who feels like, I just can't find enough time in my day to get stuff done? I just feel like I just never have enough time. What advice would you have for them?
Well, if you didn't catch your earlier segment on today's show, the good thing about it is we archive all the shows at thrivetimeshow.com. And Clay mentioned something magical earlier in the show. And that is that whenever as you're going through your day, and as you're planning out your day, and as you're doing that, you need to also reverse engineer it.
Okay.
In other words, write down. Right now, get a piece of paper. If you're listening, piece of paper or the sack that you just bought your lunch in, get out a pen or a pencil and write this down. What did you do yesterday? What did you do yesterday? Let's reverse engineer this thing a little bit. What did you do? What did you spend your time in? I mean, get specific.
Well, I was on Facebook for about 4 hours. So I was getting my profile updated.
I mean, okay, you watch TV for 3 hours. Oh, see, there's 3 hours of production I can give you. Social media, but let's be honest. You think about it. If you're not being honest, then just throw away the paper, turn off the radio, and just drive until your car runs out of gas. Get out and just walk.
These statistics are scary about how much time the average person, I encourage you to look it up right now, how much time the average person spends a day on social media and watching TV. And Google it. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And so, reverse engineer, you go, I don't know how to plan out my day. Well, let's work with what we're not going to do. I mean, let's start, being a little purposeful on and being honest with what we're really spending our time on. Because if you're not getting stuff done, you're letting time pirates steal it. You're letting poor management of your day steal it. You're letting the inactivity of your planning, if you will, steal it from you. So now, you can't just go from being unproductive to this whole day of, like meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after thing after thing after thing after thing, and this magical no, and limiting people to get to you. You got to be honest and say, well, what are you spending your time on now?
No, see, I have a very offensive thought.
Oh, no.
I want to have you and Joe help
Are we
me
going to fight? Are we going to fight?
No, this is intense, though, because here's the deal. Your network determines your net worth. So who you're around starts to basically dictate what you think is possible. And so for anyone listening right now, if you've read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, or you've read 21 Laws of Leadership, or you've been on the planet for a while, you're going to notice that successful people tend to hang out together. And the thing is, if you're listening to this show and you haven't had a lot of success in your career yet, the chances are that if you add up the net worth of the 10 people you spend your time with and you divide it, you go, that's me. And so what you got to do is you got to figure out, gosh, do I need to change my social circle? Do I need to change who I'm around? Do I need to start to surround myself with people who are where I want to be? And if you do that, kind of separating yourself and moving yourself into a different social circle or a different group of people, it can be hard, it can be tough, it can be offensive. And we're going to talk about how to really upgrade the social circle, how to surround yourself with people that can pour into your life and people that have the capacity to lift you up.
Right, and you have to be realistic. I've said on a show before, I mean, if you're in a dinghy, you can't go fishing for a whale. If you're in a dinghy, you can't go fishing for a whale. We'll unpack that and more when we come back to the Thrive Time Show. Happy Thursday.
Boom.
This show's episode is brought to you by Moz.com. If you have ever considered the World Wide Web as a viable strategy for your business, you gotta check out this tool. Online marketing is complicated, but Moz software makes it easy. Companies like 99 Designs, Otterbox, and Aaron's, they all use Moz because it works. Explore organic search keywords for your business, research Bing and Google search results for your targeted keywords, and link up Moz Local and Google My Business. Seriously, this tool is crazy powerful with the clarity it brings to online marketing for your business. Even if you're just curious, start a 30-day trial with Moz.com today. It's a game changer for your business. Moz.com, MOZ.com.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
All right, Green Country and Oklahomies, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show, Tulsa's only local business radio show, the place that you go to get that business school without the BS. And yes, my name is Clay Tiberius Clark, and I am the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. I'm a guy who's started a lot of local Tulsa businesses. Perhaps you've heard of DJ Connection or Elephant in the Room, or perhaps you've seen me in such feature films as... Anyway, Dr. Zellner, back to you, sir. How are you?
Fantastic. Robert Zellner here, and I'm just a little entrepreneur trapped in an optometrist body. And you know what? What's so fun about this show, Clay, is that we both have a heart to mentor and to business coach people up because, we've learned in life, folks, if you're out there listening, you're thinking, I want to start a business or I just started a business. You're going to learn one or two ways. You're going to learn either by mentorship or mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And we have with us a gentleman here who probably made no mistakes.
Probably not.
No, but he's got a great mentoring story that I'm gonna pull out of him right now. But this is Joe Davidson, owner, proprietor, head cook, head bottle washer, chief janitor. I think he does everything there at Oklahoma Joe's Barbecue.
Oh, it's so good to be here, and I appreciate the break from actually the bottle washing.
Oh,
I have to say this. If you're looking at him right now on Facebook Live, you're looking at America.
You
And
are
if you're
looking at
listening on
America.
your radio, you're smelling barbecue. This
smell-
guy,
oh.
you smell success.
Oh, it's just so good. So,
my
Joe,
hair.
you early on, you had a guy, a dude, and he mentored you. That's a touching, lovely story. Tell the radio audience they want to hear, and the Thrive Time Show audience they want to hear about your mentoring story.
You know, it's so important to my life. When I first started my business, I lived in Perry, Oklahoma. My wife was a teacher. She really supported our family with her income of $16,500 a year at
Come
that
on.
time.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then I was in a little shop in downtown Perry, Oklahoma.
Downtown Perry.
And a guy would come down there every day
yeah.
almost and drink coffee with me. And his name was Ed. He says,
Ed.
"This reminds me of my shop." And I'd say, "Ed," and he was an elderly gentleman. I'd say, "Well, Ed, where's your shop?" And he said, "Just across town."
Oh, yeah,
across
just-
town.
just
I
over there.
thought, well, it must be closed now, you know. So we'd visit a little bit, and I'd say, "Ed, I've got to get back to work and building some smokers. I've got a lot to deliver this
Yeah,
week." you know.
yeah.
So he'd leave, and he'd take off. And he'd come down there, and it had been a few months that he'd been doing this. And
Yeah.
then a guy came down there and said, "You know, I'm Mr. Roth, and I'm the executive VP of Ditch Witch. And Mr. Malzahn asked me to come down here and see if you'd be interested in the R.L. Fraley
The
facility."
executive VP of
Ditch Witch.
Ditch Witch.
Which
You're-
that's
you're-
kind of a big deal.
You're connecting with this guy.
I didn't know it at the time. I had no idea. I said, "Mr. Malzahn," it said, "sent you down here." And I said, "Who's that?" He says, "Well, yes, Ed Malzahn." I said,
Ed?
Ed owns Ditch Witch? He'd never told me that. And I
You're
didn't
like the
know it.
Ditch Witch whisperer.
And I'm just a kid. I mean, I'm 25 years old. So
Wow.
I said, "I can't afford that. There's no way I can afford the R.L. Fraley facility. It's a plant."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, how much could you afford?" And I said, "Well, maybe
$600.
$600 a month."
All right.
And he said, "Okay." And I said, "Oh my gosh, you're joking." He says, "No, I'm not joking." And I said, "If I'd offered you $400, would you have taken it?" And he said, "Yes, I would have. I would have taken it. You know, I would have." But he not only helped me grow into a plant to be a big manufacturer, he would lend me his CFO. He would lend me his engineers. He'd lend me equipment. He'd lend me knowledge and
When
experience.
you moved into that group and you started getting mentored from these top level people, did they give you different advice or higher quality level of advice and mentorship than maybe just some of the dudes that you knew who were your age?
Oh my gosh, there was no comparison. I had no idea. You know, I got my bachelor's degree in ag education, my master's in ag engineering, so I really didn't have a business degree.
Now, I'm going to walk you through this, Thrivers. There's a reason why everybody listening right now, you need to get out a sheet of paper and you need to write down 10 people that you need to know.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Now, I want you to dream. I want you to dream big. Think about 10 connections that you need to have in your life that can do the 3 C's, okay? So here are the 3 C's that you're looking for out of your big 10, okay? So 1, people that have more capital than you.
Ooh, good choice.
You really want to surround yourself with people who have more money than time. And they go, "Hey, I have a bunch of money, and you as a young entrepreneur, you have a lot of time, and maybe I want to invest in you."
Yep.
Because that's how they're going to make money. Okay, so more capital than you. The second
Yep.
is more connections. Maybe they know the guy who can get tickets to the game. Z, you just went to a Minnesota Vikings game. Is this correct?
Oh, yeah, up in the new stadium up there in Minneapolis. It was awesome.
And you have a friend of yours who owns a jet?
Yeah. We flew up there. Then he got a suite, and we did that. And that stadium looks like Darth Vader's mask from the outside. It's black and angular, and it's just like,
Is it awesome?
Luke, I'm your son. Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, and of course, the Cowboys won. So,
But the
that was good.
capital and the connections, if this guy didn't have the connections to all these different, to the actual plane, to the luxury suite, to all that, I mean, those things aren't possible if you're not in a different group of people.
Yeah, if you have a friend like that, I'd highly recommend putting a friend like that on your 10 want list because that's pretty cool.
So
That's a
again,
pretty cool day when you get that call. "Hey, Z, you want to do this thing?" You're like, "Yes."
I say cash, okay? We said connections. Now, the final one is counsel. somebody who can coach you or counsel you, someone who has the wisdom that maybe you don't have. And this is the thing. I'm not asking you to look at all your friends and go, that's it, friends. We've been together for a long time.
Losers are out of here.
And now I've decided I'm moving on. I'm leaving
I'm
you guys.
upgrading.
I'm upgrading. You
You're
guys
business coach, and I'm going to. I mean, you're coach, and I'm going to business first class.
That's right. You guys to the back of the plane. I'm going to the front. Let's go. You don't do that. But what you do is you reach out and you're intentional about it. And I'll give you an example. In my life, it's kind of fun, but it's kind of fun to pick up the phone. And if I need to, we can call David Robinson. Z, you and I can pick up the phone. We can call David Robinson.
Great guy.
And he's a partner with us at Thrive15.com. He's an NBA Hall of Fame player, and he's awesome. And we can pick up the phone and call Michael Levine, and he's one of our mentors at Thrive15.com. And oh, by the way, if you're on Facebook Live, his book is right there on Z's desk. He is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson's family, for Prince, for Nike, for Pizza Hut. It's the blue covered book right over there. And you can pick up the phone and call Lee Cockrell. Lee's one of our investors and teammates.
He's a great guy.
And he used to manage Walt Disney World. He stayed in your house.
Yeah, great guy and very purposeful in his day. And you talk about a man that is the king of time management. He does a lot of our time management coaching on Thrive15.com. So, the good thing about Thrive15.com is you say, well, I can't get to Lee Cockrell.
Yep.
But you know what? You can listen to Lee Cockrell as much as you want for only $19 a month. You go to Thrive15.com. We went around and gathered up all these great mentors. We filmed them. We made it fun. We made it edutainment. I love that word, by the way.
Edutainment.
Yeah. It's a thing.
I want to ask you this, Joe. How much are some baked beans? If I go in there for maybe a pint of baked beans, how much are those roughly?
$2.79 for a side of beans.
So let's say I go in there for $2.79. So now I don't have $19 a month I can spend on Thrive15. I only have like $16 after tax. Because I bought the beans.
Yeah.
We have a
Good
scholarship.
choice, though.
We have a scholarship program, Z, and we have it affordable for anybody. You could actually set your price if you're on a tight budget. I'm telling you, we made it affordable for everybody at Thrive15.com. Now, Thrivers, when we come back, we have a mailbag question that I get asked all the time, and this is a great question. We have a Thriver who's wanting to know, how do you manage people? I mean, how do you manage, you got this great business idea, and you're starting to get some traction, but you just can't get the team to do their job. And now you don't feel like you own the business anymore because the people who work there act like they own the business. And now they're telling you what to do. It's almost like you're held hostage in your own business. And Z, we've got some mentorship. We've got some specific tips. And we're going to answer this next mailbag question. So if you've ever struggled to manage your team and to get the people on your team to do what they're supposed to do, this next segment is for you, Z.
I'm looking forward to it. And don't go away because this is radio magic.
Thrive Time Show.
Right now, how are you taking credit card payments for your business? It's never been faster or easier to begin taking credit card payments for your business than with Square. You know the little white square that plugs into your phone's headphone jack? It's awesome. This payment app is great for businesses such as food trucks, beauty salons, and retail shops. The users receive a small portable card reader that they can attach to a phone or other mobile device to take fast and convenient payments. The way it works is that it subtracts 2.75% of every time a card is run, and it does it automatically. So if you sell a sandwich for $20, you'll see a net gain of $19.45 in your bank account the next day. If you enter the card by hand, it costs 3.5% plus 15 cents on top of that. They encrypt everything so you know you're secure. They make it super clear to start and even offer bonuses for sharing with friends. So you can learn more at squareup.com. It's free to download and works on all devices and operating systems. So make sure that you go visit squareup.com.
Live, local, now. You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show. This is the place that you go consistently to learn how to start and grow a business. You see, a lot of times there's people who are listening right now today, and you listen and you go, gosh, I went to business college. I checked the box. Okay, I got my degree. Okay, I started a business, or maybe I want to start a business, and I just don't know. I'm stuck, and I just can't seem to go to the next level. But then I drive around town, and I see Dr. Z, and I see his optometry clinic, and I see it growing. I see Oklahoma Joe's barbecue. I see it growing. I see the elephant in the room. The men's grooming lounge is growing. I see these guys grow in their businesses, and I want to grow like those guys. And so you want to grow in a successful company, and you have really two. It's kind of a fork in the road you can do here, Z. You can decide, are these guys successful because they're geniuses? And we're not. Are they successful because they're geniuses? Or are they successful because they're following some proven systems that I can learn and apply to my own life? Are we successful because of luck? Or because of just genius genetics? Or are we successful because we're applying proven principles? And I will tell you this. I was having no success and was struggling until I learned these proven systems. And when I began applying them in my own life, it changed the trajectory of my life financially and in every area of my life. And so I'm telling you right now, an encouragement for you. If you're listening right now and you feel stuck, we can absolutely help you get unstuck. But the first step is you have to be curious, Dr. Z. And Z, why do you have to be curious? If you're stuck, why does it start with you being curious about how successful people do it?
Well, because here's the deal. You're going to learn by mistakes or mentors. And mistakes they're painful. They're costly. You'll learn. You'll learn. I'll tell you, you do some mistakes and you'll learn. Kind of like Joe here to my left. He's like, I shouldn't I'll never put that ingredient back into a bucket of chili or whatever I'm doing. I learned from the mistake, Or you could have, like the world's best chili cooker pull him to the side and say, hey, Joe, here's how we're going to make chili. And earlier I didn't really get to unpack this too much.
Oh, sure.
But you said something in an earlier segment. If you missed it, thrivetimeshow.com, you can go and listen to the show over and over and over again, as much as you want to for free. Thrive Time Show. But you said make a list of the 10 people we want to go after. And earlier I had said something kind of funny, but I wanted to unpack it just a little bit because someone may have heard it and thought, what does that mean? And that means going whale hunting in a dinghy. In other words, if you're not very high up the food chain, you probably shouldn't put Bill Gates down on your top 10 list to go be your friend.
My step one for success, I'm going to be a partner with Bill Gates.
Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, my top two. I'm going after those guys. They're going to be my inner circle.
I'm going to get both of those guys.
They're going to be, they're going to teach me how to be a billionaire, and it's going to be wonderful.
I'm going to call my company Bill and Mark and Clay.
Bill, Mark, and Clay.
And it's going to be Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg.
It's going to be a
we'll sell
billionaire
whatever
club.
we want.
Because we can do it. No, you want to be. Listen, if you've got some kind of angle into somebody and they're higher up the food chain, i.e., they own a successful business in town, and someone who knows someone, can maybe make that introduction. Maybe you can get to them. You don't want to be too much of a creeper, but you want to be. You want to be persistent. You know what I'm saying? So just like when Clay first came around, his wife was working for me. So there was kind of his in that got him access to the place. He could kind of hang out. We're like, who's this dude? I don't know. And then someone said, I think it's Vanessa's husband. I'm like, that's Vanessa's husband? Why is he always He looks like a poor version of Eminem, the rapper. This white dude with clothes that are like 6 sizes too big and loop earrings and this kind of an edge and hard attitude and trying to pick fights with people and just creep on stuff. But the more he was around, he kind of softened and he kind of figured things out, and met him a few times. I thought, well, he's not a complete idiot, and then he just kept asking me to spend time with me, and finally I was like, okay, we'll go to lunch, and we did it, and now that gave him access to my life. And so a couple of years ago when you Shark Tanked me about thrive15.com, you had access because of the things you had done before, and it was because your wife worked for me, and that was there's a connection to people.
And here's a specific move I encourage everyone to do if you want access to somebody who's more successful than you. This is the move. Call them up and do something for them for free and don't ask for anything in return.
Yes.
And do that 3 times.
Yes.
So as an example, Clifton Talbert, he helped introduce the Stairmaster into the marketplace.
Yes.
Very busy. His life was made into a major motion picture called Once Upon a Time When We Were Colored. He helped open up ONB Bank. He had no reason to spend time with me.
None.
And so I cold called him. And again, you have to think about it. Can I get creative? So it's like, can I come in and do paperwork for you? No, you don't work here. Can I volunteer? I'm serious, because if you don't have a whole lot of skills, you got to do
an internship. Yeah.
Can I come work for free for 10 hours a week? Can I? And I'm just telling you, you have to start that way. And Steven Spielberg, if you look into his life, he started by working for free at an internship. Ryan Tedder, the best-selling recording artist, he started working for free for Timbaland, the music artist. I can go on and on all the different stories, but Napoleon Hill, best-selling author, he went to work for free for Andrew Carnegie. Joe, what advice would you have for an entrepreneur right now if they want to kind of upscale and upgrade their social group and they want to kind of meet some of the mentors? What advice would you have for them? What's the best way for them to get connected to somebody who's much more successful than they are?
I would first of all say, How do you reach any of those people? Maybe join a social group that meets at least once a month, if not once a week.
Oh, wow.
Like a networking group?
A networking group.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they're all there to network. They're there to grow. Join your local chamber. Do things to surround yourself with other local small business people that are very successful.
And a great place to meet with your local group is at Oklahoma Joe's. And this month you have a great special at Oklahoma Joe's. Tell us about the specials you have this month in December.
I'm telling you, we've got two great specials. It's
Okay.
gift giving time, obviously,
It
for
is.
family, friends, corporate gifts, or for yourself.
Feels very festive.
$50 gift card, you get a $10 bonus card to use for free.
So you can buy a $50 gift card for yourself and save $10.
And or get a $10 one for free. Or buy two 50s for only $80. So you're saving 20%.
You're saving $20 for yourself.
So even if you're a regular, that's a great deal.
It's a great deal, and it's only available over at Oklahoma Joe's.
Only at Oklahoma Joe's and through Christmas.
2 locations to serve you. Now, Thrivers, coming up next, we're going to get into mailbag question number 5. And this is about how to manage those difficult people. Do you have difficult people? I'm sure you do. Learn how to manage them. Coming up next.
Are you looking to start or grow a business? Then you are definitely going to have problems and questions along the way. You will find the answers to all of your business questions at thrive15.com. Thrive15.com provides online video-based business training taught by millionaires and successful entrepreneurs for less than $1 per day. That's less than your daily coffee budget. It's no classrooms, no get-rich-quick seminars. These are trainings broken into 15-minute segments that get you the answers that you need. It's business school without the BS. I dare you to try a 7-day free trial. Simply go to thrive15.com, and the first 100 people will also receive a free downloadable for how to optimize your website. So stop wasting your time and money. Go to thrive15.com and get your business questions answered now.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
All right, Thrive Nation, Oklahomies in Tulsa, Oklahoma, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show. This is the place that you go to learn how to start or grow a successful business. So when I say you, I'm talking to you. You're listening right now. This isn't a show about other people. This is a show about you because, Z, according to Forbes, 57% of the people listening right now, that's you want to start or grow a successful business at some point. You want to start a business. 57%.
And I think here in Tulsa, it might even be higher. I'll be honest with you. I mean, we've been rated as one of the best places for entrepreneurship in the country. And actually, at number 1, Wall Street Journal came out with it. Google, boop, 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 boop. You could see, and it was actually the number 1 place for women entrepreneurs.
This is a great city to start or grow a business.
It's in the water, that's where the water is, because it's not in the Arkansas River. It's somewhere, the water's somewhere else. So.
Look at that little segue.
Water.
Now, we have our next question, our mailbag. We have a mailbag question, a mailbag theme here, as we have our special guest, Oklahoma Joe, Mr. Joe Davidson, on the show. How are you, sir?
I'm great. It's so good to be here with you guys.
This question's for you. Here we go. This comes from an anonymous doctor within Tulsa. Here we go. I'll whisper so no one hears it. It says, my nurse is a disaster and never shows up on time, and my front desk guy talks back to me constantly. How do you guys do it? You make it sound so easy, but my staff acts like they own my office. So let's start with you, Joe. Joe, what advice would you have for this person?
Well, number 1 is that set clear expectations of what you expect of them.
So I'm writing this down. So 1 is I have to set clear expectations.
Clear expectations. I expect you to show up on time.
Let me say this. Let's pretend that they have done that. I'm not saying they haven't, but let's say they have done it, maybe in one situation, or let's say they're listening and they go, okay, I haven't done that. How do I go about doing it? What does that sound like?
To me, it would be, Sandra, you're my nurse. I really appreciate what you do for me. But when we start at 8 o'clock and you arrive at 8:30, it's not very convenient for our customers, our patients there. And it's creating a problem for me. And I really think that if you want to get here at 8:30, maybe you just need to be a customer or a patient and not a nurse at that point in time.
Joe, that's me.
I want to go to you, Z. How do you set the expectations, Z? What do you say?
Well, you write it down, number 1.
Write it down.
You don't sit there and go, okay, I'm going to partially tell you what I expect of you because, you're smart and you can read my mind. So I'm just going to sit here and think it. I'm thinking what I want you to do.
Well, it's basically
and
common sense. I mean, it's overall.
my brain is easily read, so therefore you should be able to read it and do the right thing. You got to write it down.
Put it on the tablet.
You got to have your checklist for them of things that you expect from them to do. I just assume they need to clean the bathroom. Who doesn't like a clean bathroom? You go to McDonald's, it's a clean bathroom. You stop there because they got a clean bathroom.
Yeah.
How did they not know to clean the bathroom, Clay? What were they?
Well, you're going, and these are things that I think you have the curse of knowledge. I think you've forgotten what you used to not know. So I'm going to get into a few things you just said there. It was powerful what you just said.
Powerful. So you write it down, and then you hold them accountable.
So, okay, real quick. So
Okay.
you said those expectations.
Yes.
You said checklists.
Yes.
I can tell you, I have been guilty of back in the day trying to run my business without checklists. You have to have a checklist. And by the way, Thrivers, if you want an example of the checklist that Chick-fil-A uses, if you want a secret copy of the Chick-fil-A checklists, we have those available for you. If you want checklists, if you want an operations manual, you mentioned an operations manual.
Yeah, employee manual,
if you want a
operations
handbook, an employee manual, we have those for you. We have those all available exclusively for Thrive15.com subscribers. And by the way, it's typically $19 a month. However, if you're in a financial crunch, we have a scholarship available. So if you have $1 a month, you can have access to that at Thrive15.com. Now, the second thing, Joe, let's say I have set the expectations. What's the second move to get my team accountable, to hold them accountable? What's my move?
Well, just as Dr. Z has said, you've got to hold them accountable for their actions. So we start out at Oklahoma Joe's number one with a verbal warning that we note in their file.
Okay.
Number
One,
two,
boom, check.
Number 2 is another verbal. Number 3 is a written. And number 4 is a termination.
You go 4, though. You go 4.
Yeah, the 4th is
Your
the
batting
termination.
cleanup is when you do the...
Yeah, boom,
That's it.
boom. And he scores. He shoots, and he scores on that.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Now, Z, at Elephant in the Room, we have a point system. And so if you're late, this is how many points you get. If you're late again, this many points. Get 12 points, you're fired. And so it's the same kind of thing with the point system. And one thing that you lose all your points for, boop, boop, boo-doo. These are where you lose all your points at one time.
Yeah.
Lying to your boss.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's good. One of my automatic terminators is turning down a walk-in.
Really? Turn down a walk-in?
Turn down a walk-in.
You're gone.
You're gone. Done day. Immediate.
it's that big of a thing
point.
for you.
It's that big of a thing for me. So, and that's the thing about it is, and I once had a entrepreneur, a business owner starting off, and they were just really, really just torn with how they handled an employee that was doing, jackassery, doing the stuff that they shouldn't have been doing. And they looked at me and they said, what do I do? And I go, well, you know what you're going to do? You're going to put up with that as long as you want to put up with it.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, no. You have a threshold. And whenever you hit that threshold, let that person go.
Oh, Billy.
Yeah, Billy. It's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like, it's your life. You're miserable because of it. You don't have to be. You're choosing to be.
I have this has a very special place in my heart, this discussion here, and I'm going to help you guys. If you're listening right now and you need sort of an example, you need sort of I need some agricultural examples here. I don't really get it. Work with me. If you have a business plan that says, Z, we're going to sow seeds, and we're going to sow the seeds, and then what we're going to do is we're going to harvest some corn, right?
Yep.
And that's in the manual.
It's in the manual.
It's in the system. It's in the checklist.
System. On the checklist.
And you say, all right, Clay, go out there and sow that seed.
Yep.
And then the guy next to me, you say, go sow the seed. The guy next to me sows the seed all day, and I don't sow any seed.
Yep.
Is there any miracle? Is there any profundity? Is there any sort of cosmic epiphany that occurs when I don't have any corn and the other person does? No. It's whoever sows the seeds. If you don't sow seeds, things won't grow. And I think in business what happens is we want to shield people that aren't sowing seeds, and we expect our company to grow. Work with me. So if you have a bunch of people on your team who aren't sowing seeds, the company itself isn't going to grow.
Yeah.
And so I have 2 notable quotables that are given to us by people that you would know. The first one is Elon Musk. This is the guy who helped found PayPal. Oh, and he helped found Tesla Motors. Oh, and he helped co-found SpaceX. He says, the longer you wait to fire someone, the longer it has been since you should have fired them.
Oh. I love that.
And that's a thing. That's a statement he made, It seems pretty brutal. It seems pretty tough, but that is a thing he talks about. Now, the other thing he says, this is another notable quotable coming at you. This is from Warren Buffett, though, for those of you business owners out there who are struggling to hold your team accountable. Check it out.
Okay.
It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it.
Oof.
If you
So
think
right.
about that, you'll do things differently. Warren Buffett. So as an example, a great company called British Petroleum, they had an oil rig in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. And they were drilling down, miles down into the Earth's crust, which, by the way, I'm very thankful they do that. And it's very hard to do it. They're procuring fossil fuels out of the center of the planet so that I can drive my Hummer and get 8 miles a gallon. Right? So they're drilling way down there. And then what happens is they have a blowout.
Yeah.
And people blamed people. They said it was poor maintenance. They said it was poor this, poor that. But the point is, at the end of the day, who had to take the blame when the massive leak happened? Who
CEO.
The CEO.
The CEO, the boss. The buck stops with the boss.
They were sued for billions of dollars. They destroyed large portions of the Gulf of Mexico, and it was a national story for months. They couldn't even get it to stop leaking for days and days, like a
not
month.
longer than that, actually.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was
and
bad.
so you know what? If you put up with something, to your point, you just have to put up with it for as long as you're going to put up with it. But I guarantee you, somebody on that rig, because the hearings came out and you can read the depositions and things, somebody said, hey, there's a maintenance problem. But people kept putting up with it.
Yeah, they kept putting up with it, and it ended up costing the business billions of dollars. It's a shame.
And the CEO ended up losing his job over it.
Yeah, and the worst part of it is the environmental, kickback from it. So, there's probably oil still washing up.
So if you're listening to this show today, Thrivers, we want you to be successful. And today you're at this fork in the road. You have three things you can do. You have three things you can do today. One, you can do nothing and accept life as it is. So you can just do nothing.
Well, I'll just tell you what, right? I got that bought a lottery ticket, and I'm doing something.
Point number two, you can go to thrive15.com, Z. And if you go to thrive15.com, what are you going to find there?
Oh, you're going to find just a copious amounts of information that is outlined in fun fashion. What we did is we found these great mentors, coaches, and we filmed them and we made it entertaining. And we're only charging you $19 a month for that. You also have downloadables. Yes, you have templates you can look at, like you talked about, examples for employee,
Handbooks.
operations manuals,
Proformas,
checklists,
search engine systems.
these things like that. You could say, I don't know. It's a starting point. And it's practical steps, and you can watch it by topic. You can watch it by mentors. It's up to you. It's the Netflix of business coaching.
It's thrive15.com. Also, option number three, you can sign up for one-on-one business coaching or a Thrive 15 business conference, a Thrive 15 business conference. You want to know more about it? And I know you do. You go to thrive15.com. But I don't care what option you do. Option 1, 2, or 3, you got to go to Oklahoma Joe's.
Oklahoma
And you got to
Joe's.
get those world's best baked beans.
Burn ends.
And Z, as always, 3, 2, 1.
Boom.